Have you ever stopped to wonder what you, a giant redwood tree, and a blade of grass have in common? Really have in common. Well, if you could zoom in, way past what you can see, you'd find this hidden architecture, this world of tiny, specialized teams all working together perfectly. So let's dive into that beautiful complexity.
So the big question we're tackling is right here. How can two totally different forms of life, one that's stuck in the ground and another that's always moving around, be built from the exact same fundamental principle? Well, the answer boils down to one simple, pretty elegant idea.
And here it is, the hero of our story, the tissue. Now, this isn't just some random jumble of cells. A tissue is a highly organized team. All the cells in it come from the same place, and they've all been tweaked to do one specific, super important job for the body. This is the building block of, well, everything.
Yeah, think of it like this. If one single cell is a worker, then a tissue is the entire specialized department. You've got the plumbing department, the security team, the structural engineers, all these different teams, all working together.
You see, plants and animals are playing two totally different games. A plant is mostly worried about growing up toward the light and staying put, so its tissues are all about structure and growth. An animal, on the other hand, it needs to move, react, and communicate, so its tissues are built for action. Let's crack open these two very different toolkits. Let's start with plants. A plant's whole life is basically a masterclass in growth, and it pulls this off using a really special kind of tissue. The engine room for all this growth is found in these spots called meristems. This is where all the action is. Meristematic tissue is made of cells that are just constantly dividing, churning out all the new cells the plant is ever going to need. And check this out. This shows you exactly how it works. On the left, you've got this zoomed-in, microscopic view of all those busy cells dividing at the tip of a root. And on the right, you see the result of all that activity. These growth zones are parked right at the tips of the shoots and the roots, pushing the plant up to the sun and down into the soil.
And get this, it's not just one kind of growth. Apical meristems, the ones at the tips, they're all about getting taller. Then you have lateral meristems along the sides, and that's what makes a tree get wider, thicker. And in grasses, you even have these intercalary meristems that help the spaces between the leaves get longer.
So, a plant makes all these new cells. Then what? What happens to them? They can't just keep dividing forever, right? They've got to get jobs. So let's see how they build the plant's whole infrastructure.
And this is the key. Once a cell leaves that growth zone, it differentiates. It basically loses its ability to divide and turns into a permanent tissue. It gets a permanent job, whether that's support, storage, or transport.
Okay, so take a look at the plant's support crew here. First, you've got parenchyma. That's kind of the workhorse, handling food storage and photosynthesis. Then there's collenchyma, which gives flexible support. Think of the flex in a celery stalk. That's this stuff. And finally, sclerenchyma. This stuff is hardcore. They're actually dead cells with super thick walls that give the plant rigid strength, like the gritty bits in a pear.
And then you get to the complex tissues, which are basically the plant's highway system. It's a two-way street. The xylem is a set of pipes that pulls water and minerals up from the roots to the leaves. And the phloem, that's another set of pipes that acts like a food delivery service, taking the sugars made in the leaves down to every other part of the plant that needs energy.
All right, let's switch gears completely. We've seen the plant's toolkit for being sturdy and growing tall. Now let's explore the animal toolkit, which is all about moving, protecting, and communicating. And we'll start with the first line of defense.
Believe it or not, the entire animal body is built from just 4 main types of tissue: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. For this quick tour, we're going to zero in on how epithelial, muscle, and nervous tissues solve those big animal challenges: protection and movement. First up, epithelial tissue. Just look at that. See how tightly packed those cells are? They form this continuous sheet, kind of like bricks in a wall. This tissue covers every single surface of your body, your skin, and it also lines all your internal organs. It's the body's armor and its wallpaper all rolled into one. And it does so much more than just protect. The epithelium in your gut is what absorbs nutrients. In your glands, it's what secretes hormones. In your kidneys, it filters waste. It is an absolutely incredible multitasker, essential for dealing with the outside world and managing everything on the inside. Okay, so armor is great, but what really makes an animal is movement, right? And for that, you need tissues that can contract and communicate and do it lightning fast.
Meet smooth muscle. You don't even have to think about this stuff, but it's working for you right now.
It's contracting in the walls of your stomach, your blood vessels, your bladder. It's the silent, automatic engine running all your internal systems.
Now, this is the muscle you're probably more familiar with, skeletal muscle. It's attached to your bones. So when you decide to walk or talk or pick something up, it's these striped muscle fibers that are contracting on your command to make it all happen.
And then we have the superstar of muscles, cardiac muscle. You only find this in one place, the heart. It's striped like skeletal muscle, but it's involuntary, like smooth muscle. And you see those dark lines? Those are called intercalated discs, and they're super important. They connect all the cells so they can beat in perfect, tireless rhythm for your entire life. Just amazing.
Of course, all that muscle would just be sitting there if it wasn't getting any orders, right? Well, that's where nervous tissue comes in. It's made of these incredible cells called neurons, and they act like the body's high-speed internet, zapping electrical signals from the brain to the muscles and carrying information from your senses right back.
So we've seen the plant's toolkit and the animal's toolkit. Two very different sets of solutions for two very different ways of life. But they're both built on that same principle of teamwork. So now let's zoom out and see the final masterpiece.
And this is the payoff. This is the big picture. Tissues don't work alone. They team up to form organs. In this image, you can see how muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and epithelial tissue all come together to build complex things like a heart, or a brain, or a stomach. It's this incredible, breathtaking ladder of organization, and it all starts with that one simple idea, the tissue.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. From a single cell to a specialized tissue to a working organ, life builds complexity through cooperation. A tissue is the ultimate proof that a team of specialists can achieve way more than any individual could on its own. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where else in the world, maybe in our own societies or technologies, is that exact same principle, specialized teamwork, the secret to creating something truly extraordinary?